Hey, what's up and welcome to another video. Today I want to share with you how you can master the basics of calisthenics and why it is so important to master them before you move on to other exercises. Now, when you first get really excited about calisthenics training, it's probably because you've seen on Instagram or YouTube people doing crazy freestyle combos, or people who are just super muscular and ripped, or people who mastered the really advanced calisthenics exercises like front levers, planches, muscle ups, one-arm pull-ups, and you want to learn them as well. And you know, for all of these really advanced moves, there are progressions to it. You start with the easiest progression and then progress on to harder progressions until you, for example, reach that full planche. But the truth is that even the easiest progression, for example, for the planche or the front lever, even the easiest progressions require you to have a basic level of strength, a solid basic level of strength. And if you did not master that basic calisthenics exercises yet, you have no chance to progress on to that advanced exercises. When you, for example, start with the tuck planche before mastering the calisthenics basic exercises, you will not be able to hold it and not be able to hold it with good form, and good form is really important. So you really have to get comfortable with the calisthenics basics, and I consider that being 12 really clean form pull-ups, 30 clean push-ups, and 20 clean bar leg raises. Also, you should be doing on a consistent basis any kind of leg exercises, whether it is squatting, sprinting, or just playing football or basketball, and some lower back exercises, for example, Superman holds. And in this video we will go over how you can achieve that 12 pull-ups, 30 push-ups, and 20 leg raises, and we will really focus on clean form. Because when I first discovered calisthenics, before I was consistently working out at home, doing some push-ups, doing some plank holds and stuff, and I thought I really had that basic level of strength. I actually thought that I could do 100 push-ups in a row because I tested it, but to be honest, the form was really bad. So with clean form, I was not even able to do 30 push-ups, even though I could do 100 push-ups with bad form. So this video will be a complete guide on how you can get from zero to the basic level of calisthenics strength. So first of all, if you have a really high body fat percentage, I recommend you to try to lose most of that fat, because if you are really heavy, that makes just everything a lot harder. So if you have that high body fat, I suggest you to do a 30-minute cardio workout each and every day. And for that, you can do a high intensity workout, a mixture of, for example, jumping jacks, squats, sprints, monkeys, and rope skipping. You do a 30-minute workout of that each and every day, and on top of that you try to eat healthier, and I'm not really going in detail with that, but you have to do cardio and you have to eat clean, and then you will lose that body fat, and then you can go on to working on your calisthenics strength. When you now start training for the basic level of strength, we should first make clear what is clean form on those three exercises, on push-ups, pull-ups, and leg raises. What is clean form? I will do that for each of those three exercises, and then I will give you progressions to those exercises. Just as for advanced calisthenics exercises like the planche, there's the tuck planche, the advanced tuck, straddle, and full planche, also the planche lean. I will give you progressions to those basic calisthenics exercises as well. So let's get into it. A clean push-up. For a clean push-up, you have your hands shoulder width apart, and you have your scapula deep pressed and protracted, which means that your shoulders go downwards and forward. Then you come down to at least 90 degrees, and when you push ups, your elbows are completely locked out. your elbows stay above your wrists all the time and do not go too far inwards or outwards. By squeezing your abs and your glutes, you make a nice clean line and your hips are not too low or too high. The first progression for the push-up is the push-up position hold. Make sure that your arms are completely locked up, your scapula is depressed and protracted. You engage your abs and your glutes by squeezing them and make a nice line. Hold that for as long as you can. As soon as you reach a 1 minute hold and make sure that it is really clean form, you can move on to the second progression. The second progression is the scapula push-up. You start in that push-up position that I explained before, and then you retract your scapula, meaning your shoulders go backwards, and then you press back up into that push-up position by protracting your scapula. Do as many as you can. As soon as you reach 30 clean reps, you can move on to the next progression. The third progression is the negative push-up. You start in that clean push-up position and then you slowly come down into a 90-degree angle. Maybe count 3 seconds for coming down. After that, you start in that push-up position again and repeat that. Do as many as you can. As soon as you have reached 15 clean reps, you can move on to the last progression. The last progression is the actual push-up. I already explained to you the correct form. Make sure you always do it with correct form and practice it until you have reached 30 clean push-ups, and then you have your basic level of pushing strength. Let's move on to pull-ups. For a clean pull-up, you start with your arms completely locked out and you have your scapula activated, so depressed and retracted. Your abs are engaged so that you are in a nice straight line. Then you pull up until your chin has reached the bar. You maintain that retracted and depressed scapula position, and then you slowly come down. Always remember that coming down is part of the exercise, so do not let yourself fall down, but come down slowly and controlledly. Now I will go over the progressions. The first progression to the pull-up is the dead hang. You just hang on the bar and make sure that you have a nice over grip and really squeeze the bar. You want to hold that position for at least 45 seconds until you move on. The second progression for the pull-up is the scapula pull-up. You start in the dead hang, and from there you want to activate your scapula. You want to depress your scapula and retract it, meaning your shoulders come down and backwards. Make sure that you engage your core and have your knees locked out as well, so that you are in a straight line. When you can do 25 of those in a row, you can move on to the next exercise. The third progression to the pull-up are Australian pull-ups. For those, you want to have either a lower bar or rings. You can adjust the difficulty by changing the angle, so it will be harder when your body is horizontal than when it is 45 degrees to the floor. You have your feet on the ground. By activating your abs and your glutes, you make a nice line with your body. You have your scapula retracted and depressed, and then you pull yourself up while staying with your feet on the ground until the rings reach your chest. Try to do as many as you can, and as you get more comfortable, try to do it horizontally. And as soon as you can do 10 clean reps, then you can move on to the next exercise. The fourth progression is the negative pull-up. You want to either jump up to the bar or use a chair or use a lower bar to get at the top of the pull-up, and then you want to slowly come down. Make sure that you use the correct form that I explained for the pull-up, so retract the scapula nice clean line, starting with your chin over the bar and slowly coming down. It should take at least 3 seconds when you come down. Then you go back up and start again. When you can do 10 clean reps of those, you can move on to the actual pull-up. Now I already explained to you how to do the clean pull-up. Just practice this until you can do 12 clean pull-ups, and then you have reached your basic level of calisthenics pulling strength. Make sure when you moved on to a harder exercise, still implement those easier exercises to your training, because that will make you overall a lot stronger. Now we come to leg raises. For a clean leg raise, you want to hang on the bar in a dead hang position. From there, activate your abdominals to raise your legs. Make sure that your knees are not bent, and then raise them to 90 degrees to an L-sit hold, and then slowly coming back down. Make sure that you do not swing, and when you come down, still are in that activated position, so you do not come back down to that dead hang, but you still activate your abdominals at the bottom part of the movement. The first progression to this is the cycling crunch. You want to get down on the floor and activate your abdominals to bring up your knees in a tucked position, and then you want to bring out one leg and then switch legs. You want to do that clean with really locking out your knee for 30 seconds at least before moving on to the next exercise. The second progression are floor leg raises. You want to get down on the floor and then bring up your legs to almost a 90-degree angle on your hips, but make sure that your knees are not bent. For this exercise, it is really important that you do not have an arched lower back. So you really want to activate your abdominal muscles to avoid this. For the next progression, you have to use the bar, go into a dead hang position, and then perform knee raises. Meaning you bring your knees up using your abdominal muscles. You make sure that you do not swing and bring them up to 90 degrees and then slowly coming back down. When you can do 15 clean knee raises, you can move on to the actual leg raises.
Now the clean leg raises. Make sure that you always use the correct form that I explained in the beginning, and as soon as you can do 20 clean reps in a row, you have reached your basic level of core strength.
If this was helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel for future content, and tell me in the comments below what topic I should cover in my next video, and I'll see you in the next one.